Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back again with another Disarming the Anti-Gun Arguments, and I've got Luke here with me. Luke is the first YouTuber, commenter, active follower on the channel, also he's on gun channels, that reached out to me and said he wanted to be on one of these videos. So, Luke, how you doing?
Good, Josh. Good. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to get involved with this, it's really simple. You just email me, hoshnasi@gmail.com. We can do this, and we're gonna modify this and evolve this as we go on. So, Luke, did you say owner, Sundowner Express out of Indiana?
That's correct. Yes, yes. Sundowner Express. We're a small family-owned, Second Amendment-friendly trucking company out of Remington, Indiana.
There you go. All right, that's very cool. So you know how the process works. I hit you with the question. What do you think is the largest threat to gun rights in the United States today?
I would say, from my perspective, I would say the biggest threat is us as men who are active in the Second Amendment community and active in our firearms rights, not passing that knowledge, importance, and significance of that right along to the women and children of our lives. That's one of the things that I really see as an issue. I've got a younger brother who's 10 years old. When I talk to him, none of his friends, even in a Second Amendment friendly state like Indiana, he doesn't have very many friends who are being taken to the gun range, who are being taken to different advocacy events, and not being taught the importance of this most important right that we have as citizens of this great country.
Do you have things out there like Boy Scouts and Appleseed? Are they big out there?
Well, I think they are, and that's one good place. But with my little brother being in a more of a urban area in Indiana, in Indianapolis, it seems like those are very sporadic. Where with us living out in the more rural areas, I think that they're much more popular. So yeah, I think that those are great, and that's one of the things that luckily my brother's been able to participate in Boy Scouts, and I think that those of us that have that luxury of having those kind of organizations in our rural communities need to try to help get that to be more prevalent in some of the more urban centers where that's not as prevalent. If that makes sense.
Oh no, it makes perfect sense. Because in California, it's kind of a use case in your example here is we started out as one of the western states. We had lots of freedoms and we had gun rights and we had hunters' rights and all kinds of stuff. A lot of the hunters' laws are based off of California. But time's gone on and they've not to use the term they've made it so it's not a part of the society. And by it not being a part of the society, kids don't get exposed to it. They said that hunters' education and hunter licenses in California have dropped off to like record lows. And I think that's a case example of what you're saying.
Right, right. And I'm sure if you looked at, I don't have the facts and figures, but I'm sure if you looked at our state's centers of hunting registration, those that predominantly most of those hunting licenses registrations are registered to folks that are in outlying areas and not in packed metropolitan centers. And I think that's where we've got to do better at getting folks, and especially the young children that look up to us to get out there, come out to our rural area, and let's do some hunting. Let's show you how this could take care of your family, and not only just as a sport, but this could food on your table.
Yeah.
I think that's critical.
So then going along with that, what do you think is kind of the way we stop the land loss and start making forward progression to kind of change the societal view of guns?
I think the main thing with going along with the point I shared as one of the biggest threats is to bring especially our younger generation, bring them out to the range, get them exposed to other like-minded individuals, and show them how rewarding and how fun of an experience that can be. Get them out into the field and get them exposed to hunting, fishing, other sportsman activities.
So here's a challenge question then. So going back to my California example, In your case, you have a one generation gap, right? You've got fathers that need to go out, or mothers that need to go out and take their kids to the range and take them hunting, whatever. California's example, you've got grandfathers that were hunters and their children never hunters, never outdoorsmen, never shooters, and then they've got grandkids now. In some cases, great grandkids. So you've got a generational gap where they stopped shooting, they stopped going out, they stopped doing all those things. Indiana doesn't sound like you guys have that problem. We have that problem in California. How would you handle that problem, or what would you recommend?
I would say it's up to guys like you and like me that are in California to go and get involved with your children's school, get involved with the Boy Scouts clubs, and do the legwork to try to hook those organizations up with the ranges and the places of the world that we can. It's up to us, to be the ones that stop that generation gap and start getting children introduced to those things. I think that's the key.
It's like the eroding landslide in Newport and all those where the houses fall off into the water. Once you start losing that ground, it's really hard to build it back up because when it comes to me working with my son, it's easy. But then now you want to throw your arms around this larger group of people that you may or may not know, and then you run into political stuff and all that, and it just turns into a big problem. So the key takeaway I would say is don't lose any ground, right? If you're the father or the mother and you have an interest and you got to bring your kids involved, because if not, you're going to lose it. It only takes one generation.
Absolutely. And I think also, it could be a touchy subject as far as introducing other people's children to the gun culture.
Yeah.
So go after the parents, meet with the parents, bring them over, be social with them and show them that it's not the stereotypical scary object that a lot of people think it is.
That's a really good point. That's probably the best way to go about it, is get your people your age in. Don't go peddle to a bunch of kids. Let's go shoot some guns. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's a right way to go about everything, but I think we've got to keep focus on that. Because I see a lot of my peers, that aren't doing, maybe not doing enough to teach their children, the gun's in a safe, stay away from it.
Right.
We've got to do more about teaching them. Okay, there's a time when the gun is an absolute tool that you have to have in your tool bag, and here's when that time is.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, that's perfect. That's spot on. Well, hey, Luke, thanks for coming on. I think this was very informative, and I think helpful because, again, California is an example. We don't want to lose this land. It's already happening. We got to stop the land loss, and you bring up a good point. I hope people think about that.
Right. Well, and anybody that's a fan of your channel, if they want to come stomp some hunting grounds or come out to Indiana, they're always more than welcome.
All right. Well, thanks again. And guys, anybody who wants to get involved, just send me a message, hoshnasi@gmail.com.
We've come to the end of the video, and this is what we call a trailer. It's where I ask you, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see my day-to-day vlogs, hit subscribe. And if you want, I've got a whole playlist with over 700 videos just talking about stuff that you just watched. So if you enjoy all of that, go check that out too. I really appreciate you coming. Comment below. I engage with everybody, and thanks a lot.